Boys, welcome back to the channel. We got an absolute killer video. We're going to be just breaking down the ultimate meal plan for success. If you find yourself struggling or you essentially don't know what to eat, this video is literally going to put your meal plans on autopilot and automate A+ meals all the time. And essentially, guys, I've broken this video down to 3 essential pillars. We're going to have meal success, as you guys can see right here, meal optimization, so planning A+ meals, as I just mentioned. We're going to break down why meal success is so important, the why, and then essentially the win as well. And then 3, a customized, personalized program or a meal plan for you that sets you up for success to build muscle and to get the body you want. It's really simple, really straightforward. I'm not going to gatekeep at you. I think you guys know me. I want to drop all the sauce, give you everything you need to succeed. But what I am going to do, just to make sure you guys stay on your toe, is I'm going to essentially give you some bonus stuff that I know that I wish I essentially saw before, because, like, again, I'm human. I like to eat out. I like to have cheat meals. I'm going to give you a framework to go about not even going out, but how to eat your favorite foods as well. So pretty cool stuff. I want to give you guys everything you need. Like I said, I love this stuff. And if I can help you guys win just as much as it helped me along my journey, then essentially we're going to win together. And that's what we kind of are going to strive for. So I'm going to break these down towards the end of the video and then essentially give you the 3 pillars right now and drop the sauce. So as you guys know, if you're new to the channel or you haven't been before, welcome back. I have been, trial and error for around, when I first started, around 3 or 4 years to get the right blueprint. And I started from ground zero. As you guys can see, very scrawny, insecure, lack of confidence. And essentially, I just didn't know how to eat. I was like everyone else. Training is going to get me the results a lot quicker. It doesn't matter what I eat, but that is the wrong way to do it. If you guys want the results, you have to maximize A+ meals all the time to build muscle. Nutrition's 80% of the work. If you want to do 70%, that's fine as well. And training's 20 to 30, however you break it up. But your nutrition needs to be on autopilot. And if you can find the right input to smash every single day, you're essentially going to unlock your dream physique a lot quicker. And essentially, guys, this was like, I've achieved my dream physique. I want to break down exactly how I go about my nutrition, how I'm able to do it essentially on autopilot, and I even think about it, just do it. It's a part of my identity, and that's a skill set I want to give you guys right now and to literally just run with it. So again, guys, we got an absolute banger video. Really excited about this one, and let's get right to it. No gatekeeping, none of that crap. I'm sure you guys know. You want the sauce, I'm going to give it to you. Alright guys, so let's drop the sauce on pillar 1, meal success, when and why. So I broke this down to key essentials, as you guys can see here, part 1 and part 2. I'm going to give you a brief overview of each one. And a lot of people, yes, you may have a good understanding of pre and post workout, but what you're probably doing wrong essentially is the right frameworks, or essentially having the right information to smash every single day consistently. So I kind of want to break these down because this is something I extremely struggle with, and I just didn't know the frameworks to go about, and I really want to simplify this for you guys as easy as possible. So let's talk about pre and post. So if we talk about pre, guys, this is usually anywhere from 1 to 2 hours before, depending on how you do your macros and how you go about your days. I like to use anywhere between a snack or a meal. I think somewhere in between that's really good. But again, guys, if you want to have a meal, that's fine. What I do recommend, though, is have it closer to the 2-hour mark, maybe 2.5 hours, just so you're not lethargic, you're tired, you don't feel like you have a bowling ball in your stomach. One time I actually tried having a Chipotle burrito before, and I just couldn't even do a pull-up. I felt like I was going to puke. So that's why it's really important to give yourself enough time. Don't do that 20 minutes before. It doesn't work. And then if you want to do like maybe in between a snack or a snack, you guys could do maybe 30, 40 minutes before. That's fine. Again, just tailor specifically towards your lifestyle and what works best for you. But here's the right framework, regardless of what option you choose, that you guys need to be going around. You want to make sure that your pre-workout meal has predominantly mostly complex carbs. When I mean mostly complex carbs, I mean you want to choose sources that have a complex source. So maybe like it's, white rice, sweet potatoes, quinoa, 100% whole wheat bread, because the reason complex carbs are so much more beneficial than standard carbs are higher in calories. You're essentially not going to feel full longer, and it's essentially crap. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to get a good lift in. And the reason why complex carbs are so beneficial, you're going to give yourself the right energy. It's a lot healthier. And essentially, like, when you look at like how your energy expenditure, essentially when you work out, I don't know if you guys ever tried like having certain meals before to see what works best for your body, and then having another meal to see what's best. When I used to have pretzels, or it was like a bag of popcorn, everyone goes through stuff because everyone makes mistakes. When you go through stuff like this, just the quality of your workout plummets after 1 to 2 exercises. But if you give yourself a long lasting energy source, like maybe 100% whole wheat bread, maybe white rice, your efficiency the entire workout is going to be awesome, and plus the pump during the workout as well. So that's why I really recommend doing a decent amount of your macros before, depending on how you split up your meals. And you also want to have a moderate, protein amount, because, muscle preservation. So maybe you want to have chicken, maybe you want to have ground beef. I would say probably something a little lighter. Chicken could be a really good option. But again, guys, whatever you like best is a really good way to go, because you want to adapt it towards your lifestyle. What may work for me essentially may not work for Joe or John behind the screen. I don't know. I'm just throwing, examples out. But make sure you enjoy it, because as soon as you enjoy it, that's your recipe for success, and you're going to stick with it. That's the most important thing. Once you stick with it, that's like all you can ask for. So that's why I kind of want to break down. I don't want to go into too much detail and bore the hell of you guys, but this is the right framework you need. What I really recommend, guys, if you want to take screenshots, you want to write down some notes, it's only going to help you, and you could use these skill sets just literally and just compound them as time progresses. Now, post-meal. So post-workout, I recommend anywhere from 20-40 minutes. I have 30 minutes because it's like the average, but that's what I really recommend. You want to now have higher protein intake and moderate carbs. Of course, both is important, but I like to have higher carbs before, especially complex, and after higher protein intake. And the reason this is so important is because protein is for recovery and the carbs replenishes the glycogen storages. You need both to win. So don't think that carbs are going to make you fat or carbs are going to make you essentially not get your physique you want. It's so far from the truth. Just have frameworks and operationalize around how you do this. Of course, knowing your macros is going to make you win, but don't always have that mindset that carbs are bad for you. That's the furthest thing from the truth. And when you just deplete all your carbs, yeah, you may lose a lot of weight depending on what your goal is, but essentially it's not sustainable. If you can't do stuff that's sustainable, you're not going to get the results, because essentially you're going to just hate the process and you're going to feel like shit because you have no energy. So that's why I try to kind of break that down in that point. So that's kind of the way I go about pre and post. I think this point right here is really important. So just make sure you guys do it. And again, I want to touch on why it's so important. Again, if you really want to maximize, the muscle repair, the growth, the recovery, you need both to essentially, in regards to the proteins and the carbs, to win. And when you work out fully, what essentially is happening is you're exerting the muscles a lot. You're breaking apart your muscles basically, and they need nutrients to recover. And that's why your proteins and carbs are essentially vital for this. So your proteins, again, are essential for the muscle building, as you guys know. That's why 30 minutes after workout, it's always best to have a protein source. And then your carbs are for energy, muscle repair, and glycogen replenishes. So that's why it's so important to do both of them. And essentially, guys, don't neglect your fats. Your fats are really good. Just make sure your macro proportions are literally in these frameworks that you guys know exactly what to do. But these are kind of the nuanced details of why you need to set your meals up for success. And this is kind of like, I don't want to just throw and say, eat this. You guys need to understand why it's so important. What's the benefit of each macro? So that's why I kind of took this step in pillar 1. And then pillar 2 right now is actually I'm going to break down some winning meals and why it's so important. So again, guys, let's break down pillar 2, which is meal optimization. This is the money shot. So planning 8+ meals all the time. So I want to break this down to like a 3-step formula, and then I throw in a little bonus that you guys will see as it progresses. But this is how you go about structuring your meals for success. This is literally simplified. Take this framework and run with it. This is how I do every single one of my meals, and it literally makes sure I doesn't miss every single day. So please pay attention right here, because this literally took me too long to find out. So your ingredient 1, guys, is always protein. You always want to morph your meals around your protein intake. And this is how you plan an 8+ meal. Your goal should be always to operationalize your meals around your protein intake. So say, guys, if I want to have tacos, I always think about what's my protein source first, and then I mold the rest of my meal around it. Sounds weird, but if you really want to hit your goals, it's not that weird. So the second thing is our daily goal. So now we understand that, okay, we have protein intake, and this kind of ties into step number, or the previous point about your macros, because you need to know what your macro goal is. And a really good thing that I do is I count my protein intake in my head of what my goal is. So say, example, I weigh 175 pounds right now. I'm trying to do anywhere from 1.2 to 1.3 grams per pound of body weight. But for this example, let's keep it really simple and say 175 pounds, which is 175 grams of protein, which is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I don't want to make it confusing, just basically stay with this example. 175 is my daily goal. Our goal should be, again, to hit this amount. So we have our example, I chose 175, but just so you guys can see on the screen. And your ability is to stay consistent with this. So once we make our meal, so say our meal right now that we make for lunch is 100 grams of protein, that means we're 75 grams short, and I'll count that in my head. So I'll be like, all right, lunch is 100 grams. Of course, you guys could use MyFitnessPal and write this down and track it. I just like counting in my head because it makes sure I know I have to hold myself accountable. But either way is cool with you. And then you need to know that, okay, I have 100 grams of protein in my head. I need 75 more grams more. That's my remaining out to essentially hit my goal. So that's a really good way. Make sure you stay consistent. Make sure you stay accountable and you know what you're doing. So again, hit your body weight and goal. This is a standard framework everyone should do. Depending on what your goal is, you can go a little above. But if you're just starting out, I recommend doing your body weight and then increasing as you get consistent with it. If you don't do it for a day, then increase it. Do it for like a week or two. Get really consistent with it, then increase it. It's just more sustainable that way. Just telling you through trial and error. So now I want to break down how we actually structure a meal. Remember, we just talked about how we're going to go about it, which is our protein intake first. So I kind of gave you an example on how we're going to do it, how it ties into complex carbs, our fats, and then what we could essentially add on top. So again, guys, so let's look at these meals right here. I just gave 3 different examples. So each meal, as you guys can see, has its own protein source. So for these 3, we have chicken, we have steak, and we have ground beef. Next, I always do a carb. So, but my carb is always a complex carb. So again, rice, sweet potato is for my carb. I can't spell, as you guys can see, but that doesn't matter. And then we have quinoa. So now that we have our protein first, and now we have our complex carb, which is second, now we need our fat. And then example, avocado, grass-fed butter, nuts. That's a winning meal right there. So always operationalize around your meal. So essentially, what's our protein source? What's our complex carb, and then what's our fat? And then if you guys want to add a veggie or fruit on top of that, that's what I kind of leave last. But you guys have to remember that these are high volume foods. So essentially you're going to feel full longer by not eating that many calories. If you're on a cut, it's very beneficial. But if you're trying to put on muscle, it's going to be hard because your appetite's going to be suppressed, per like the amount of food you eat. So like just going into a little context of this is like when you eat a whole thing of strawberries, say a bowl, that's like 25 calories. You know what I mean? Like that's not helping you. So again, it's cool to have a little amounts, but depending on what your goal is, you're gonna, see how much of these high volume foods you want. That's why I kind of put it at the end. But this is how you structure an A+ meal, guys. You do your protein first, then you go to your carbs, which are complex carbs, and then you do your fats. Winner, winner, winner. That's all you need to do. Simple, easy. And then this kind of, goes into this stuff, going out and stuff. Like I'm gonna break that down. That's towards the end. And then, guys, I gave you like little cheat sheets on like the macro portions, as you can see: chicken, turkey, eggs, Greek yogurt. If you want to take a screenshot, I just kind of want to throw an example up there. And then what I also did, guys, again, if you want to pause the screen right now and take a screenshot, these are examples of the carbs, the fats, and the protein sources that are really good stuff that I use, that I kind of like, and they're just standard. So again, I broke it down by the complex carbs, really good alternatives that you guys can use. So, if you don't like quinoa, you can use oats, doesn't matter, same thing, almonds, olive oil, and then chicken, maybe turkey breast. So I hope that helps. I really try to go in detail and give you everything you guys need. All right, guys. So now let's break down pillar number 3, which is the the custom personalization. As we mentioned, we broke down why and when essentially we're going to use these meals. So maybe it was the proteins, the complex carbs. Then we funnel into making A+ meals, which is that going to give us the understanding of how to structure them. Now we need to talk about how we're going to customize it for us to succeed. Because once we customize it for success, that gives us the ability to sustain it long term. So point number 1, guys, we need to optimize meals around our lifestyles. This is so important because if you're not doing stuff that you generally enjoy, it's not going to be sustainable and then it's going to suck. So essentially 3 to 5 meals is best for building muscle. But again, I focus more on sustainability. Whatever you guys enjoy most, I think this is a good range of meals. But if you're someone who's going to have one meal, it may be a little tough given like you're going to eat 200 grams of protein one day. So that's what I mean. Like I think ideally around 3 to 5. If you want to do 3, that's perfect. Whatever it works with you, just make sure it's sustainable towards your lifestyle. And then, guys, you always want to be consistent with the stream of nutrients that you're going to get in every single day. So make sure it all revolves around your macros. Step number 2, we're going to tailor our macros accordingly to our lifestyle. So again, guys, this is why everything's like essential a pyramid. If your foundation sucks, you don't know your macros, everything kind of crumbles up top. So you have to make sure you know this stuff, which is pretty easy, pretty simple. I have a bunch of videos on the channel, so if you struggle with it, just go back onto other videos and that's going to show you exactly how to do it. But example, like say our macros for, this video right now is 100, 100, 100. So the way we break it out to our meals is maybe 10 meals of 10 each or 2 meals of 50. If you want to do 3 or 4 meals, just, again, divide it and calculate it as mentioned before. And then again, if we want to build muscle, we have to make sure we're in a slight calorie increase. This is considered a lean bulk. If you want to do a standard bulk, a lean bulk is aiming from 200 to 300 calories. A standard bulk would be 300 to 500. So again, I have that right here mentioned for you guys. And then again, what's really important is you guys need to adjust these accordingly. These are just standard benchmarks, but everyone's body's different. So say if you do 200 to 300 calories over and you're not seeing results, bump it up an extra 100, 150 until you actually start seeing how your body adapts and how you get results. Because if you're not tracking, you're essentially just wasting time because you don't know what's working. Trial and error is what you need to succeed. And then step number 4, which is picking A+ meals by macro breakdown. So as we mentioned, guys, this is literally what we went over step 2 right here. And then I kind of just reiterated in a sequence that you guys could essentially use. So again, reference protein, the carbs, the fats, fruits, veggies, and this framework. And that's how you optimize your meals for success. And then you want to just tailor, step number 5, you want to just tailor around healthy, clean food. So these are the examples I mentioned before. Again, if you guys want to take a screenshot or whatever's best for you, I kind of want to put it in one place for you just so you're not going back and forth on the time bar. These are really good options. But what's really cool about this stuff, guys, if you don't like sweet potatoes, don't eat sweet potatoes. Eat brown rice. There's so many different options. Just make sure you tailor it specifically towards macros. Same thing with healthy fats. Same thing with lean protein sources. And these are just so many of the options that could be offered. There's so many. So again, just do it to essentially stuff you like. So guys, that's the 3 pillars we just broke down. I hope that really gave you a good understanding on how to build the ultimate meal plan for success. A+ meals, why we do it, why it's so important, how we personalize it towards our lifestyle. Now I want to give you the 2 bonuses that I said I promised, which is basically going out and our favorite foods, how we still about going about our our goals, and how can we do this to honestly enjoy life at the same time, because that's what I want to do. I don't know about you guys, but like I love burgers, I love eating Chipotle, so I'm gonna give you guys a framework on how we can go about it. So let's do it. Number 1, guys, going out. Let's break it down. So if we're going out, it's really important for step number 1 that we always choose a protein source when picking meals. So guys, this, the 3 pillars are versatile skill sets you're going to use for this as well. That's why I kind of break it down first and then funnel into this part. Because when we go out, we always want to make sure we're choosing, a high protein source meal. So for example, guys, instead of when you go out, instead of just getting pizza, let's look for something that's a grilled chicken sandwich. It just gives us the ability to hit our macro goals and protein, and essentially gives us the ability to not go too far off track. So again, higher protein meals are always better because it makes us feel full longer. It's less calories. It helps hit our protein goal for the day, which is so important that you guys are going to be counting in your head, and it builds muscle all in all. So that's why it's so important to, optimize your meals for success. Just a little extra bonus tip. And then the second part is, so now we want to revolve around protein intake, is we want to choose higher volume foods. Again, guys, these are dependent towards your macros, but I just think this is a good framework to go around because you could then adjust your other meals based off what you do here. So again, guys, higher volume foods are great because essentially you can eat more of this, the stuff you like. That's not as many calories. Example, by reference to the strawberries, a whole bowl could be like 25 calories. You're going to get more food for less calories and allows you to feel full for longer and quicker, as I referenced, before. These are your fruits and your veggies. And again, guys, the reason this works so well is because it's sustainable, it's easy, and effective. Again, the only thing you should be mindful of is when you go out are your fats. So like your sauces, your oils, and butters, because these are really calorie dense. Your fats are 9 calories per 1 gram, and your proteins and your carbs are 4 calories. So your fats are 2x. So just be careful of it, because then everything could just go to failure if you just don't account for that stuff. Now let's break down the second part, which essentially is our favorite food. So now say this is like our going out cheat sheet. Now let's talk about how we're going to eat our favorite foods. If you want to have like a burger, you want to have McDonald's, I don't know whatever you guys like, but I'll kind of give you a framework to go about that as well. So what's really important is you guys need to create a buffer for your macros. So for example, say your macros for the day are 2,000. What I essentially would do, maybe I'm choosing higher volume foods that are going to be less calories. That gives me a buffer to eat more during these cheat meals. And the whole goal of this is to not go over by so much. So if you go over by 50 to 100 calories, no big deal. But if you go over by 4, 6, 7, 1,000, that's a lot of making up for the next day. And you kind of, and do the week on like a back step instead of going forward when all you do is you essentially have a few adjustments. So I like to create buffer calories. So, say again, I eat 1,000 calories for the day. That means I have 1,000 calories to have my cheat meal. And then it's not so detrimental towards where I'm at because I have such a big buffer. And essentially you could do maybe more protein in the morning or throughout the day, higher volume foods, drink more water, and maybe work out to burn excessive amount of calories to then give you a bigger buffer to essentially go into it. So some options I put out is like maybe, again, saving calories. So maybe you want to intermittent fast. That's a really good way because you're not going to be eating as much. Eating lower calorie foods or higher volume foods. I put that right there. But you guys get the point. Lower calorie foods, higher volume foods is going to essentially make sure you eat more food but not get as many calories in. And these could be throughout the day towards a cheat meal. Awesome. And then what's really important that you guys need to do is make sure you watch your calorie count. Again, try not to go over too much and adjust the following day. So say if you do go over, or essentially you feel like, you feel guilty a little after, because that's usually what happens, try to get some extra daily steps in the next day. Try to do a cardio session. Try to do a strength training session. That just helps you get back on track a lot quicker. And I love doing that because there's always a little guilt after. So I just try to push that much harder the next day. And again, guys, enjoy life. I like to go by the 90-10 rule. Enjoy it. Make sure it's sustainable. Don't do it every day. Don't do it every week. But make sure you enjoy life and just do stuff that you generally enjoy. So again, guys, I hope I gave you everything you need. As you can see, we covered a bunch of stuff. I hope you guys have a better understanding of having, a meal plan for success for A+ meals. That's why it's so important to make sure you understand these frameworks, you use them, and essentially take action and see how your body adapts. So again, I hope I gave you everything you need, actionable stuff that you could walk out this video and literally crush your goals and take you from a physique like this to this, because I just want you guys to win and get there. Thank you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like this video or you want any other questions asked, make sure to drop a comment down below just so I can see what's really working, or I can go into more detail. But again, guys, thanks for watching another killer video on the channel. So glad I could drop this video and drop the sauce. Really look forward to dropping more videos like this on the channel, whatever you guys need. So enjoy the day, get to work, take action, and let's go win.